We're live here. Make sure everybody can hear me. Everybody can see me. No issues. Crow, Sweet Tooth, you guys are here. How you doing? I'm going to wait here a few minutes until the top of the hour. We will get some people in here shortly. Looks like we got a little bit of a storm probably coming in and everything. So hopefully the power holds up and we don't get kicked off. Sarge, how you doing? Congratulations again on your first 1,000 subscribers. All right. Nicholas, how you doing? Yeah, fingers crossed that it doesn't go out. We're going to ride it out, man. We're going to ride it out. Thanks, Nicholas. I appreciate it. Got about 3 or 4 minutes here before we really get started. I just like to get on here a little bit earlier, make sure everything is okay, make sure we don't have any hiccups or anything like that. Keep it on the side of the state. I don't know which direction it's moving, man. It's been pretty good all day here, and then all of a sudden it's just started getting cloudy a little bit ago. Super Shark, hello, sir. How are you? John, how you doing? Adi Bonilla, first time. Welcome aboard. Chuck, how you doing? Tyrone, evening. We got everybody popping in here. All right. You guys, when you're in, as soon as you get in here, don't forget to smash that like button for me. I would appreciate it. If you like the content. If you don't, then I won't tell you to off, but like some people. Storming in Ohio. Yeah, I think I read somewhere or heard somewhere that there's a couple tornadoes out near Kentucky and all that. So I hope everybody's okay up there if you're in that part of the woods. Brian, perfect topic. Dealing with private artists. Okay, good. We'll talk about that tonight. Rocket Knight, how you doing? All right. Ryan, how you doing? How's everybody doing this evening? All right. Quinn, the storm is moving northeast. Well, you guys be careful. Because it looks like it could produce some tornadoes or whatever. Darren, hi, how you doing? All right. No storm up in Dyersburg. Well, you're right down the street from me, man. You're probably about 35, 40 minutes. Wonder if Wicca's having a hard time selling models. Why you ask that, Chuck? What's going on? Yeah, James, the facial hair is coming back. I got to shape it up tonight, man. It's, yeah. And my wife was out of town for a week. She comes back. She's like, oh, it's back. Hola, J. David. What do I think about making full-size characters for Disneyland? Yeah, I mean, if that's what you want to do. Good to see you too, Rocket Knight. How you doing? Oh, right. It looks like it is 7:00. Their email has been offering 70 plus models just for signing up. Wow, that's a lot of models. All right. So we are at the 7:00 hour, everybody. Hello, good evening. Thank you for spending your evening with me. We're going to talk about a subject that a lot of people have been asking me about here lately. And that is hiring a private commission artist. There is a lot going on online, like on Instagram, Facebook, and everything, with these knuckleheads just coming up out of the woodworks, claiming to be this just big great artists and everything like that, and they just want your money and you never see them again. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We'll talk about what to look for, how to go about hiring one, what to expect as far as cost, as far as just everything. And we've got Super Shark is on here. So he is actually, I'm actually doing a model for him very soon. It is going to be the Yellow Lantern Wonder Woman. It's a very, very nice model. I'm actually prepping it right now. As soon as I finish up the Juggernaut, we're going to be moving to that one. Very nice model. He's you go well. I don't have a link, but we'll check out his Patreon and stuff. I'll have a link for that when I do that video for him. How's it going, Mark? All right, so let's talk a little bit about the commission artists. All right, so I don't know if anybody else has gotten all these pop-ups and spam and stuff like that on your Facebook pages, on your Instagram pages and everything, but there's here lately, there's not a day that goes by that I don't get some message from some random person that just wants to me to make or commission them to do a model. All right, it's not that easy. If it was, hell, everybody would be doing it. Um, so I usually get these messages, like private messages, that like in my hidden messages or whatever like that, and they just say, "Hey." Now, if you message me and you just say, "Hey," chances are I'm not going to respond to you. I'm just going to delete you and probably block you. So if you get those, whatever, don't respond to them. Those guys, a lot of spam is going on. But yeah, I've been getting a lot of that here lately. And periodically, I will get some people that actually message me and go, "I'm an artist and blah 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 and all this other stuff, and I do commission work and I do really great models and whatnot." And then I look at their portfolio and it looks like crap. So again, it's like you see the same images from these group of people. I don't know if they like work for Fiverr or whatever. They're just trying to run a racket or whatever. I don't know, but stay away from these guys because they're nothing but just trash. Their stuff sucks. They're using the same recycled images for every account. So yeah, Enzo, hey, how you doing? Just traveling through. How you doing? Sorry, I'm still saying hi to everybody. Um, so anyway, I've been getting a lot of that here lately, so I figured tonight would be a good subject to talk about because I do a lot of commissions for my Patreon and everything, and for myself. So how do you go about looking for a 3D artist? Well, the one good starting point is ArtStation. ArtStation has some legitimate artists over there that do really good work. Um, they show their portfolio, they show things that they've done before and everything, and that is a good starting point because they're actually giving you images of what they've done and they're reputable and everything like that. So another thing to look at is how long they've been on there, how many followers they have, how often they're posting. There's some artists over on ArtStation that probably haven't posted anything in some years. So it could be, that they're either busy with other work or they just don't post on there any longer or whatever. Who knows? But either way, that's a good starting point. So I follow a lot of artists over there. I follow several hundreds of artists. Some of them do already do work for companies like Sideshow and so on and so forth. Those guys there typically don't do freelancing because Sideshow and PCS and Iron Studios and all those guys usually keep them. I don't know whether they're like in a contract or anything, but they wind up keep them full of work and then just keeping them busy and stuff like that, so they can't freelance. And then I think it's usually like a thing where like if you start doing freelance, they drop you. So of course that's steady money and everything. Um, so that's their bread and butter, and they don't want to jeopardize that. So anyway, but there's some good people over there. Also, if you get into some of the Facebook groups, some of the 3D printing groups or whatever like that, there are a few artists on there who pop up that do Patreon or they do some commission work or whatever, and they'll let you know by doing that. They'll show some of their work on there, and then if you click on their link and go to their homepage or whatever, then you can see what all they have to offer and everything. So anyway, um, so that is another thing. Now, if people start coming to you, messaging you, or just popping up on some random group saying, I do 3D models, I do renderings, I do ZBrush, whatever like that. Chances are those aren't the people you probably want to be messing with because they really either they don't have work, they're just not good enough, or they're just trying to run a scam on you, or they're just not reputable at all. A lot of times, if you find an artist and they're open to commission work, chances are they're doing some commission work at that point. They're usually doing something for someone, and so therefore they're also posting things on Instagram, TikTok, or whatever like those. Some of the current projects that they're doing or have done. So Chuck says I associate as a 3D artist. So I mean, so that's one of the things. Also, how I come across my guys are I reach out to them. I find their pages and stuff like that while scrolling through social media. I see some of the work that they've done. I look into some of the work that they've done, and then if it's something that I'm interested in, I'll send them a message and ask if they're interested in doing commission work. They respond. Some of them do, some of them don't. Some of them are closed for commissions. They either have way too many or they just stop doing them or don't do them for whatever reason or another. But usually when you reach out to them and you ask them about like what their rates are, one thing is for certain, everybody's different. So you kind of have to realize that based off the work that they're doing, a lot of it has to do with where they're at, where they're from, like what country or something. Because a lot of your American artists are more expensive because it's more expensive to live here and they have to charge more money versus someone who lives in Brazil or whatever like that. So the exchange rates are a little bit different. So there could be that variant there. Um, Another thing is that you never want to do is if somebody is what what Chuck? Oh yeah, I got to finish them. Uh, so another thing is when you're talking to someone, when you're talking to an artist, understand that they have their own rates because that's what they feel they're worth, and don't ever insult them. If they're too expensive, just say okay, thank you, and move along. And the other thing is don't take the cheapest one, simply because you just don't know what kind of work they're going to produce in a timely manner or whatever. So like my guys, I don't give them a time limit. We talk. Enzo's on here. He's one of the artists who does commission work for me. Enzo and I have a really good relationship. We go back and forth. We kick around ideas and everything like that. And I do let him have some creativity in the whole process as well. I don't dictate everything. Some people dictate everything. They will state what they want, how they want it, like a certain pose or something like that. I do to a certain extent, but I also let them have some input as well. I think that develops a good relationship with your artist. Um, so it really depends. I mean, um, if something's out in left field or whatever like that, we'll come to some resolution or something like that. But I really don't give these guys a timeline because I want them to do their best work. I don't want to feel like they're pressured into doing something where something's going to churn out some really bad work or something like that. So I really don't put like just I don't tighten the reins on them or anything. But as long as you communicate with them and let them know that you're there, you're interested in what they're doing and everything. So yeah, I mean, it just it works out. It's a good relationship. It's about building a relationship. So you never want to burn your bridges with these artists or anything like that because it is a community. They do talk with each other and everything like that. So um, again, you want a good rapport within that community. Um, I'm going to get to that here in just a minute, Chuck. Um, let's see. Yeah, so Super Shark says negotiate, be honest. Most artists will work with you, plus artistic freedom excites them. And that's so true. For example, like Enzo and I right now are both working on the next model of the month, which is Captain America. I basically gave him a reference, and that's what you generally do. Like you give them a reference of what you want. If you want a certain pose, you kind of let them know. I mean, if you have to draw a stick figure to kind of give them an idea of what you're looking for, then that's fine. uh, you just have to communicate that with them. I mean, just whatever it takes. Or you can just say, can you do me a sketch and kind of let me know what you might have in mind? And that's what I typically do is, I tell like Enzo or whoever FP Artworks that I deal with as well, of what I'm looking for. And I send references over, and then we kind of talk about what we're trying to accomplish and everything, and what I'm looking for. And he puts his 2 cents in with it and everything. And then we come up with something that either excites them or they're really, just looking forward to doing. Sometimes they're really looking forward to a project because they might feel challenged because they haven't done that character or whatever in such a long time, or haven't done it at all. So I know a gentleman named Marco Furiel that I'm working with as well. He's done some work for me. I sent him over an image today, and he's super excited to do it. And again, it's about coming up with something that the artist really likes. And I think the more they're excited about it, the better work that they'll do. The more that you kind of work with them and have a little bit of creative freedom, again, the better job that they'll do. So if you're not getting somebody who is like that, then my advice is go somewhere else. Because if that person's not excited to do that, then who knows what they're going to churn out for you. And it's always a good thing to um, be upfront with what you're asking, what you're wanting. Like if you're saying, "Hey, I want a Spider-Man," well, guess what? He's going to get you a Spider-Man. It may look like dog crap, but you got your Spider-Man. I mean, you need to talk about things like details. You need to talk about pose, base, everything under the sun. That way, you get an accurate price, and you don't surprise the artist later on going, "Oh, well, I don't want that. Can you make the base this much higher, or something like that?" And then it just kind of throws them out in left field, and they're like, "Yeah, that's not what we discussed." So always be upfront what you want, be detail oriented, and again, if you do that, you can build a good relationship with your artist. Now, let's talk about what Chuck just asked. He says, "What would be a good starting price, and what do you consider just flat outlandish price?" Good night, Stephen. So anyway, it really depends on what you're looking for, what you want, how detailed you wanted it. Again, the base, the figure or figures. Like if you just have a Spider-Man sitting on a base or whatever, it shouldn't be too expensive. But like me, like I like Punisher. So let's say a Punisher model with a lot of guns, a lot of detail. The base is pretty elaborate or whatever like that. You can expect to pay either several hundreds of dollars or possible thousands of dollars. It really depends on what the artist wants. Now, I can tell you that I am not on the high end. I'm not on the super low end, kind of somewhere in the middle, because I basically use whatever I get from my Patreon to reinvest back into the channel and purchase the models, hire the artist to do the rendering or the model for that month or whatever. And sometimes I even pay out of my own hip pocket. So a lot of it is like whatever I get from YouTube, whatever I get from my Patreon, and even like other streams, revenue streams or whatever like that. I usually put it back into the channel, and I do models and stuff because it excites me. I like doing it. I like printing them for myself. I like seeing my guys do the work for them and post them on the Discord and everything. So definitely like to give up something for someone. So like Enzo just finished up. He just finished up the Punisher Kill Crew and the Black Knight, which is available on the Patreon right now in the $10 tier. So those two pieces right there, um, it was a pretty penny for both of them. Let's put it that way. I'm not going to go into exact price. Now, if some people come and tell you it's like, oh, it's $100 for this real elaborate piece that you want, you might want to kind of just shop around because that's really on the low end. When you're talking like 150, 200, $300, that's a real low end. Don't expect much if that's what you want. If you don't have high expectations and that's a good price for you and that's in your budget, then that's fine. But again, go and make sure that that artist has done work, has a portfolio, um, something to go by, something to give you some type of um, starting point, something to go by. Hey, this guy's done all these characters. They look really good. He's inexpensive and stuff. And also ask him what kind of timeline, because some artists will tell you, I can't start for another month. I can't start for another 2 or 3 months. And it takes me like 4 months to get a model done. So, again, if you are not in a hurry, it's for your personal collection, whatever, give them all the time that they need. You don't want to string it out too bad. So, I would say realistically, 60 to 90 days tops, or on average, I should say, for an artist to get a rendering done is plenty of time. Anything over that is kind of like, eh, you kind of wonder if they're even working on it. Um, we need a model of me dressed as Punisher with paintbrushes instead of guns. No, sir. No, sir. And yeah, so if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So if someone tells you, "Hey, I can do this elaborate model for you. I can get it done in 3 weeks for $150 or whatever," and this thing is like over the top. You're talking like a Punisher figure with this huge base with gun shells or shells around and big guns and ammo boxes and all kinds of other stuff and all this detail that you're wanting, then guess what? You're probably not going to get what you expect. Um, you're probably not going to get what you expect. So that's something to kind of shop around on. Um, for example, I'll tell you, Enzo is probably he does exceptional work. If you've seen any of his models, you will see some great work. I mean, he's done some killer stuff for me. He's easy to communicate with. Any changes that you want done, anything that you're kind of hell bent on, he listens to you and everything. He also has a creative mind, which is huge in a 3D artist as well. But we're talking probably in the neighborhood $500 to $600, which is kind of a safe line. But that's generally where we're kind of at. Anything I will say, any depending on what you want, anything up to depends on what your budget is. I would say probably under $1,000 is good. Anything under $300, yeah, you might want to just rethink that, unless you know the artist and he's done work for you before. And again, a lot of it has to do with the country that they're in. It may not take them a lot of money to live or whatever, so they charge less, if that makes sense. But their economies are different in different countries and everything. So some people don't have to charge as much, um, versus artists here. Now, let's get to the other side of the spectrum. The other side is these artists who are cocky, arrogant, think that their shit don't stink, think that they're the best artists in the world, and they demand top dollar. Um, so, I mean, you can expect from those guys anywhere from 5,000 to $10,000. They might have done private commission work, like for these customs statues companies or whatever, and they think that their stuff is just the greatest ever. I mean, if that's what you want to do, I'm not telling anybody not to do that, but that's a lot of money, especially if you're wanting to do something for just yourself. If you're rolling big time like that, you got that bankroll, you want to fork out three, four, $5,000 for a model or whatever for yourself, then by all means, knock yourself out. Um, mm, that's on the high end. Now, if you're doing statue production or whatever, then that might be something that's a little different. That might be a decent price. Again, depending on the artist, depending on timeline, what their caliber of work is, and everything. So yeah. So I mean, it's kind of a up in the air sort of thing. I know for personal projects, a lot of people don't want to soak a ton of money in to an artist because they just don't simply have it. It's something they just want for their shelf. Doesn't have to be picture perfect or anything like that. But again, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew, or you don't want to just throw money away to somebody who's just going to take it and haul off or whatever. So avoid these guys that just message you up out of the blue and saying, "Hey, I'm just this great artist, and look at my work, and it looks like stick figures or something." Just yeah, don't do that. Um, but look at some reputable artists. I'm actually going to be doing some podcasting soon. I tried doing it a couple of weeks ago and it didn't work out too well. I had some issues with my streaming service, but I'm going to be doing podcasting and stuff, and I'm going to get into things like that. I'm going to talk about different Patreons, some new and upcoming Patreons, different artists and stuff to be on the lookout for. So makes it'll actually you'll get a better understanding of who maybe that you could talk to that's reliable and so on. If you're looking to do something like that, there are different companies out there like the 3D Spot or whatever it is that I did the video on. Um, I've heard mixed things about them, so I'm not going to totally get into it with about those guys. But I've had them do two models for me, and they turned out fine. I've heard some people say, um, they taken money from me. They haven't completed the model. The model I got was pure garbage. Then I've heard a lot of good things about people saying that they done good work for them, and they've used them several times. So, I mean, me personally, those guys, I think they charged me about 150 bucks for a model. Again, I had to be very specific as to what I wanted. I got what I wanted. They allowed me to change a couple of things, which that's another thing. Um, when you have constant editing, two things, or three things, it's going to piss your artist off. It's going to cost you money, and then it's going to take that much longer in order for you to get your model. So set that up front in the price and everything. A lot of artists will allow you like two or three changes, major changes, before they start charging you additional money, because that's time that they have to go in and fix your model to your liking. So again, it's one of those things that you need to be very, very detailed with upfront and everything. Um, so let's say, for example, if I got, well, my guys now, I mean, they just know that I say, this is what I'm looking for. This is the character. Here's some references. Let's take it and run with it. And they get me a price, and then we just kind of go. But like up in front, then what I like to do is I say, what do you typically charge for a character, and what are your terms? So they'll give you a price. They'll either tell you as far as like how many changes they'll allow for you or whatever. And then you know, uh, you'll negotiate those terms and stuff like that. So I think, oh, who is this? So here's another thing, and I'm glad Southpaw said this. When you get the file, is it your model? Like, do you own it? That's another thing, because there are artists out there who will do a rendering for you, and it'll be on the cheap, but they'll do it specifically for you, but they'll also resell it. So again, that's in the terms. So when you get your model, you want to let them know that what I'm paying you for is, this is my model, this is my file, and everything else. Another thing too is when you pay through PayPal, you're notating that in the messages. So you're putting in there like 50% deposit for Punisher STL file, that belongs to me when said is done, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So right, it's not being picky, but it's clear terms as to what you're getting, because what these guys will do, or not all of them, but some of them will they'll tell you straight up, I'll charge you this, but I'm going to resell the file or whatever like that. If you pay me more, then that'll be your file. It's your exclusive file. I forget who it was that it was STL something. They make heads, but I do 1/6 scale figures as well. And I was looking for a specific head to do for one of the 1/6 figures. And the guy tells me, he goes, I ask him, okay, what are your terms? What's your price for doing this? And he told me up front, he says, $100, and I get to sell the file. If you want it, your exclusive file, can't sell it, nobody else, whatever like that, then it's $300. I was like, okay. I didn't go with it, but I mean, I'm not going to, me myself personally, I'm not going to pay for something that they're just going to turn right back around and resell. If I'm paying you money for something, that's mine, not for you to sell, not for you to give away or to anybody else, or whatever like that, and not for you to dictate what I can do with it. So that's another thing. Artists will, um, some artists will, they don't like for you to put it on a Patreon. They don't like for you to sell it on CG Trader or whatever like that. Again, be specific as to what you're going to do with that file. Or if you're going to make it for your own collection, but you're going to turn it back around and give it away, sell it, or whatever like that. It's just common courtesy at that point. So, yeah, you just want to make sure that you outline what they want. So let's say, for example, let's do a little role playing here. I have an artist that I contact, and I message him and I say, hey, interesting. I love your work. Great. Good deal. Do you accept commissions? If you do, let me know what you generally charge, what your going rates are, and what kind of terms do you work by. Okay. And so they will, if they message me back, they'll go, hey, how you doing? Yes, I do commissions. It may be $300 for a single figure with a basic base. Depending on the detail or whatever like that, prices are subject to change or whatever. By the way, do you have a reference? They'll ask for a reference. And if you have a specific picked out or whatever like that, an image picked out, send it to them. Say, this is what I'm thinking of. And then they can be more specific, saying, okay, yeah, that's a little bit more detail and stuff. So it's going to probably cost you $400. This is what I'm going to offer. This figure, whatever like that, for $400. And then you start talking about the terms. Okay, at $400, this is my file, correct? Or how do you work? I mean, as far as that's concerned, do you make exclusive? Are these exclusive for me? I just want to make sure it's exclusive for me, and it's my file, not yours or anything like that. Then they'll be like, yeah, of course. Okay, it's yours. Again, save all your text messages and your emails and everything. Just to have a good track record and stuff. Again, building relationships. And then once you come to those terms and everything, chances are they'll probably say, okay, I require 50% deposit up front, and get an idea of when they can probably be done with the model. The model can, if they say, okay, it'll take me 30 days, okay, give them 45. If they say, okay, it'll take me 60 days, give them 70 days. Or I mean, just saying, give them a little leeway, just in case something comes up. You never know. The artist can get sick. Their computer could crash. I mean, they could just, all kinds of stuff could happen. But the biggest thing is to make sure you're in constant communication with them. Now, don't email them or text them every day. Now, like Enzo and me, we text every day. We message each other every day because he's showing me what some of the work that he's doing. And it excites me. I really like the fact that he's into it, and he texts me and lets me know what the work is and everything like that. I have a couple of artists, like the artist who's doing Major Blood right now. He sends me like once a week. He'll send me an update. This is what I got. This is what I'm working on today, and so on and so forth. So it really depends. If you find a good artist, take care of them, pay them on time and everything like that. Don't bug the hell out of them or whatever like that when they're working, and just be kind and courteous to them. Also, let them show their work. A lot of guys really, a lot of artists really like to show their work on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever like that when they get done with it. You can ask them, okay, please don't show anything yet until we're finished. And then once I have the renders and the files paid for, whatever like that, then you can show the work that you've done. And it adds to their portfolio. So it's a common courtesy thing, really, to do. Um, yeah. So also, not only how long it will take, but how soon they can start on it. So some people will say, "Yeah, I can start on it right away," um, and so on and so forth. So Southpaw, great. I was getting ready to mention this. How about cutting and keying? Do you pay more for that? So generally, what I ask is with a new artist, I'll ask them, I'll make specific, okay, this is the reference that I want. I need a price with the model completely done, base and everything like that, cut and keyed. That's what I ask. Now, if you have an artist that goes, what is cutting and keying? You need to run for the hills. Because I've had that. I've had an artist that proposition and everything like that gave me a price and everything. The guy does from his images, he did really, really good work, but he did not know anything about cutting and keying. Now, some artists will have somebody else do it for them. They'll just, but you pay them for it, but they'll have somebody else do it for them. I don't care if they want to or not. When I pay for the price or whatever like that, I ask about cutting and keying. Now, another thing too is like, especially like with someone like Enzo and myself, um, he will ask me, where do you want the cuts and the keys and stuff? So that's another great thing about him. We do have that relationship to where he is, instead of just taking it upon himself to do that, um, that's what I'm getting into now. So he asked me where I want the cuts at, and like I'll just take an image or whatever like that, maybe put like lines around the boots or something like that, just something to give him some type of reference for, so he knows where I want the cuts. Like if the base is humongous or something, and I need it cut in a certain section or certain way, we'll talk about that. Like if like if I want like this, if I want it keyed and cut right here, then I'll make sure to let him know that. Like if I want to keep this, I mean, this is something from Wicked, but I'm just kind of using it as an idea. But if I want this cut off so I can print this separately, again, I'll let them know. So again, being specific. Um, if you don't ask them about cutting and keying and you pay them to do the model, you're it's a crapshoot whether or not they know whether to cut and key that model for you. Don't blame them, blame yourself because you did not let them know. So it's one of those things again where you go, oh yeah, man. Like the artist comes to you and says, "Oh, I'm done. I'm going to send you the file," and you go, wait a second. Did you cut and key it? No, because you didn't ask me to. Oh, well, I need you to cut and key it for me. Okay, that'll be an additional $100. You're like, what? What? Well, blame yourself because you didn't ask it. Don't assume anything with an artist because they're only doing what you ask them to do. And if you're not direct with them or detailed with them or whatever like that, then it just kind of happens. Now, like my wife just said, do you dictate the cutting or keying, or do you allow the artist to determine that? Now, if the artist does their own cutting and keying for their models and they do a good job, and I've seen some of their work, I personally will let them decide on how they want to do the cuts and keys. But I like to ask, where are you going to make the cuts at? And they will tell you. Um, no, I wasn't going life size on that piece, but it is a 1/3 scale. Um, so they will tell me this is where I intend on doing the cutting and the keying. And if you agree with it, then fine, let them do their thing. And if not, then let them know. It's about communication. So you just want to be specific. It's not being pushy or picky if you're upfront with it. But if you get into this project, you put half your money down on it, and you're expecting this whole, elaborate project of something that you didn't specify. you're going to be in for a rude awakening, and it's nobody's fault but your own, because the artist is basically going to do what you ask them to do. So, um, yeah, like Alan says, just mention your requirements beforehand. Otherwise, you're going to probably get disappointed. And that's the other thing with the 3D spot to team or whatever. Like I wasn't specific as far as with my first model about a base. You know, I sent them the reference. I said, this is the figure that I want. They did it, but they didn't do a base. And I got nobody to blame but me. Um, so yeah, I think where was it at? Tiny Little says he tried 3D Spot about a month or two ago, paid deposits, showed you a couple of works in progress, but it's been about 2 weeks. So I haven't heard from him. At that point, I would probably email them and ask them what's going on with it. Again, run your email trail. Just kind of maybe set a reminder on your phone. Um, if you haven't heard anything from them again or whatever like that, then hopefully they're not stringing you along. If it goes to the point where you hear crickets for weeks, months on end, hopefully you pay with PayPal. Just do a PayPal dispute and just move along. Again, those guys have been really good to me. I got exactly what I asked for. Um, I've heard different stories, so I'm not going to really get into them. All I know is you just got to be careful, and that's with any artist, any company, or whatever like that. No matter what they're doing, if you're getting a logo done for your YouTube channel or for your work or your office or whatever like that, same thing. Be specific as to what you want, and give a timeline. Give them a little leeway. Don't be pushy, but be realistic. Um, Emailed them a couple of days ago, being patient since then. So if it's been a couple of days, I would probably give them another shout out tomorrow. And see what happens or whatever. Uh, yeah. Scott says 3D Spot takes about 2 weeks for an update for them, taking longer than I had hoped. Felt simple, but simple is sometimes more challenging. Yeah. So like they were giving me an update like once a week, I think is what mine was. I didn't ask for anything or anything like that. They just it's it's been a week. They'll usually send me something. So Paul, that's what we're doing. Where we find sculptors. We kind of went over that a little bit earlier. A good place is ArtStation, some Facebook forums. I think Brian, I think even posted something earlier in the chat. STL Collectibles Discord channel has a lot of artists and stuff in their community chat. So yeah. And that's a good point, Tiny Littles. They did say that they've got a lot of orders in because of the video that I did, so it may have something to do. I might be the problem. I'm sorry if I am, but I think that's what they said too. They had a lot of pouring in of people placing orders and everything. I hope everybody gets everything they're wanting. So, but they did good work for me, and I really like the models that I got. So. Um, so that is essentially everything that you probably would want to look into when you're looking for a commission artist. Now, again, when we talk about price, it all depends on what you want. I know that like let's just say for example, this Juggernaut Colossus diorama that I'm looking at, that Wicked just did an awesome job on it. Something like this would probably cost um, up in probably at least $1,000 or around $1,000 because it's two figures. Okay, they're highly detailed. This base is massive. It has a lot of working parts. It has a lot of cuts to it. So that's another thing. If you have a character like the cuts are the arms, the head, the legs, and the boots, it's not going to be as expensive as if you have something like a Punisher that has like the pouches have to be cut, the guns have to be cut, the knives, the hands, the wrist, whatever. If all that stuff has to be cut, then it's going to cost more money because it takes more time to do. So be prepared for that as well. But you know, I will talk to some of the artists that I work with and see if they're open to commissions and stuff like that. Now, keep in mind, I'm kind of greedy when it comes to these guys because they do a really good job. They're really well priced, and I like them working models for me. So if that means that they're working stuff for you, then it means they're not working stuff for me. So I'm just being honest. Um, that means that takes away the time from me. So yeah, and also asking for renders. Yes. So when they when they when you contact each other and you're talking with an artist, ask for a render. Hey, do you have a picture of what it's looking like so far? I'll give you an example. Was talking about Enzo earlier. Enzo is just a fabulous artist. I really wish this guy would just blow up. I mean, because he is awesome. Like, we have a lot of good communication on here, and we're kind of talking about. He's sending me images of like the Captain America that we're working on. These are whip images, and we'll go back and forth as far as what he's working on. Like, he also, and I don't expect it, he just does it. But he'll like, hey, I'm just going to be working on the gloves today, and so I'm like, okay, cool, thumbs up or whatever. And when he gets everything done, then he'll share messages with me and stuff like that too as well. So it's just good. It's developing good rapport with your people, with your artists and everything. Some artists have files that they've done also that are for sale that you can buy some of their previous work. Again, it's something that you might talk to them about. Um, you know, um, it just really depends on the artist itself. Some are finicky. Some of them are like, well, yeah, if if I do work for you or whatever like that, I expect a model. You print and paint me a model or whatever. Some people are like that. Some people have different terms. It's almost like in the music business, you have a writer. Like, if you have an artist come to play a concert at a concert hall or whatever, they have specific writers, what they go through, what they ask for while they're there. It could be something funky like um like Prince. Let's say Prince was, I know this because I worked with somebody who was a writer for Prince. He wanted all the mirrors taken out of all of his hotel rooms. Each time he came in, he didn't want any mirrors in his hotel room. That is detail oriented specific. So like, some of them will want like bands that I've toured with before, they would want like a case of this kind of beer. They would want red gummy worms. They would want uh, a white robe with black pinstripe. I mean, goofy stuff like that. They would want. I know the biggest thing was Van Halen. They wanted M&Ms, but they wanted the brown ones took out. Now, some of those guys did that. They did that, and we're kind of getting off topic, but they did that just to see if the people were actually looking at the rider. So, um, that was Van Halen, but they wanted the brown ones removed. Was it green? It might have been green. I thought it was the brown ones. Anyway, stuff like that is you know, um, be specific. Terrell says he has a couple artists he's working with. They've been great so far. That's good. I love green M&Ms. I don't like the brown ones so much. I don't know why. Because you know what? With M&Ms, the candy shell is all the same taste. It's just food dye. There's no difference in the taste. It's been proven. So whether it's green, purple, pink, or whatever, they're all this. It's all the same taste. Anyway, so I hope that helps you out when you're looking for a 3D artist. Um, Shop around, man. See, I thought it was brown M&Ms. I know my Van Halen, man. Um, so anyway, I would just really be specific when you're looking for an artist. Tell them what you want. Get a good understanding of that artist. Talk to them for a little bit. Don't jump into things that are right off the bat. Just from talking one conversation with them. Don't pester them, but understand that that their time is valuable. They're probably going to be doing other work for other people and stuff if they're not working for you. So again, just be courteous and everything. Here's a good question from Terrell. How many changes do you think is excessive to ask of an artist as far as making changes to the whip? I think anything over 3 to 4 major changes is pushing it. Um, it really depends on the artist itself and the complexity of what you're doing, and how far along they are into it. So let's say, for example, you got this. I'm just going to use this as an example. You got this head here, this Punisher head. The artist pretty much has all of it just like this. You've seen pictures of it. Um, you've seen pictures of it over amount of time. He's shown you this, that, and the other, and everything like that. And then he's pretty much almost done with it. And he comes to you and he says, "Okay, I think we're just about there." And then you go, "You know what? I don't like those eyebrows. Can you change those?" Expect to get him pissed off because you've seen this for several times, several renders or whatever like that. And now at the last minute, you're wanting to change this. So whether it's your first change or third or fourth or whatever like that, you do something like that, expect to get charged for it or expect to really rub your artist the wrong way because you've seen that. Um, Now, if it's something that kind of correlates with it, like his hair or whatever, and you're just now seeing the hair and it doesn't really match the eyebrows, and you can speak on to that. But like if you've seen like little things like the nose, seen it time and time again, and then at the last minute he says he's about done with it, he's getting your approval, and you go, "Yeah, I don't like that nose." Yeah, you're gonna piss him off. So expect a little blowback from that. Um, again, when you see something, you can even say, "Hey, let me get a day. Let me have a day to kind of look it over and see if there's anything that I want to change or whatever." Um, and you can do that at the last of it, as long as you're not issuing changes left and right out the gate. If you're not, "Oh, change this, change that, change this, change that," then at the end you go, "Hey, yeah, I don't like that." Expect some blowback. That's another thing. So let me post this. Another cost can also be if you ask for bonus items, extra head options, etc. Correct. So if you have, it's all being upfront. Okay, I want this model. I want 2 head sculpts with it and 2 guns. How much is it going to cost me? That's what you want to find out up front. You don't want to say slam them and go, "Oh yeah, man, I think I want just 2 heads with it and 2 guns or whatever." Your artist may be cool with it, but he's going to charge you. And don't go, "Oh, an extra $100. Are you kidding me? I'm already paying enough for this as it is." Yeah, don't do that. If you're going to do that, then you're going to lose your artist. You're going to get a bad reputation, and you're probably going to have a hard time hiring another artist. So if it's something that you like, and I've done it, if it's something at the last you go, "Oh man, that would look really cool with another head sculpt or whatever. What do you think?" "Yeah, I can do that. It's going to charge you an extra $50." "Okay, no problem." Done. I mean, it's that easy if they're willing to do that. And if he goes, "Well, I just don't have time because I'm getting ready to start another project. This one's almost done." Then go, "Okay, no problem. No big deal or whatever like that. But however, when you get done with your next project, can I get that extra head sculpt from you? Can you do that for me and I pay you for it?" And a lot of times they'll go, "Sure, yeah, absolutely. Let me finish this other project." Sometimes they may say no. They may just be busy and don't take it personal or anything like that because it happens. A lot of these guys, this is what they do for a living. This is how they pay their bills. This is how they support their family. I know a lot of Brazilian artists. They make a really good living at doing this because they can do it inexpensively, and they have work with several different people that month after month after month. Yeah, trying to communicate everything as soon as possible is always the best to try and do. Always. And here's the thing, if this is like your first time wanting to contract somebody to do a commission for you, again, um, write it down, write down what you want. No, do not send Guido. But write down everything that you want from out of that model, and notice and note too that the longer that list gets, the more zeros are probably going to be on the end of that price, because that's just the way it is. Um, so, I mean, sometimes if you're on a budget, there may be things that you have to do without this time. Um, and it's not. Um, and it's not something that is wrong per se. It's just it's a learning experience. You may have to start out kind of like something simple, and then as you go along, then you may, um, want to do something a little bit more elaborate. The expectation is going to be that you're going to have to pay more money. So it's something that you kind of have to kind of just fall into, if you will. Um, so a couple of other things. We went through details, we went through communication, building the relationship, and everything like that. I think the other thing too is if you are going to be consistent with getting models made, keeping your artist happy and plenty of work is another good thing. Booking an artist. So, for example, if you if you have you got this artist to do a model for you and everything, probably a couple of weeks before you anticipate them to getting done, maybe ask about, hey, are you free for another commission after this one? Sometimes they say yes, sometimes they go, well, I have somebody else lined up. But usually artists like to stay busy, especially if this is their bread and butter. I mean, if this is their way of making money, then if you can keep them making money, then they're going to keep you happy as well. It's the same thing. Like, again, I'll use Enzo as an example. Like when we get done with a project or whatever like that, I'll say, "Hey, are you free to do another project?" Hell yeah, let's do it, because he knows I'm going to pay. He knows what to expect. I'm easy to work with, and we have a good relationship. No muss, no fuss from on either end, and everybody's happy at the end. I get a great model. He gets paid, and everybody's happy. So that's another thing to take into consideration as well. All right. I need a drink, y'all. I've been running my mouth for almost an hour. So another thing to take into consideration too. Now, some artists, and I found this out, not through any fault of my own or whatever like that, but I found this out by, talking to a few people. Some artists do not like for you to sell the models, the physical models that they create, because if you get slapped with a cease and desist order, then that could fall back on them, and that can prevent them from making future work for themselves. So be mindful of that too. If they ask you, please don't sell the physical models, then respect that or move to another artist, because that does happen. Some guys don't care, but I've seen some people that are just, yeah, I don't want to be, you know, my Instagram or Facebook page taken down or whatever like that because you're selling models. I don't want to be associated with that. So yeah, understand that that happens. As far as a lot of your foreign artists, they usually don't care, because a lot of countries outside of the US don't recognize trademark or copyright infringement or at all or anything like that. And a lot of times they, that it just is what it is. They're just not really thinking much about it. And I'm not saying that like companies are breathing down people's necks and stuff like that, just specifically looking for people, but you never know. If they see something that's really popular. Another rule of thumb is too, if it's a real popular character and the artist does a really kick-ass job on it, and people are commenting on it, it's getting reshared through social media and stuff. People are asking the artist about it. The artist gets a good following, you get a good following or whatever. You're going to turn heads, and when you turn heads on some of these things or whatever, then if you're selling the models, then you can probably expect that letter, that email from some of these companies. I don't sell my models. I have a Patreon that they join a membership, and then I give them the model. So there's a difference. But I don't paint anything and resell it. If anything, I probably should, because I have so much crap in my room right now, but I don't. For that very reason, I don't want that stigma and people breathing down my necks or whatever like that. Been there, done that. Don't want to do it again. So, um, so I hope that covers everything. Um, so who in the chat is looking to possibly hire a commission artist? Anybody? Anybody have any questions regarding anything that we've already covered? Does anybody have any questions on things that I have not covered? Maybe some stuff that I've experienced or whatever. So yeah, just traveling through. He says he is okay. What are you looking to get? And like, do you already have somebody in mind? What's the deal? Not really sure yet. Okay, that's a lot of people. So a lot of people just aren't totally sure about what they want. They know they want something for themselves. They have the money to spend. Don't rush it. Take your time, and just you know, shop around. Look at some of the people's artwork. Ask questions. Get rates, and so on and so forth. Glass Joe says, I am a character that no one will ever make. The only way to get it would be a commission. And unfortunately, that's a lot. Scott says, not now, maybe in the future. The one thing that is being done is all that I'm looking for, and it is just for fun with all the team at work. Okay. Want a Planet of the Apes, astronauts, apes in suits from Escape from the Planet of the Apes with a Icarus diorama. It's tough. Yeah. So that's something that's being specific as to what you want. I mean, you could definitely look get an artist, hire an artist for that. That's being pretty specific. So yeah. Any other questions on anything from anyone? So I hope I answered it for everybody as far as commission artists and what to look for and everything. Mark says I look for Lost Boys, but it's 4 models plus a base. I have only seen the Kiefer Sutherland David model done. I haven't seen the other guys done, which would be really cool. If someone can do the likenesses, really nice. I'll tell you what I would like to see. I would like to see an interview with a vampire, the Tom Cruise character, the damn it, the Brad Pitt character and Kirsten Dunst character. I'd like to see those done. That was a cool movie. I like it. Some people thought it was cheesy. Casey's working on a David bust. I think I know which probably one it is. It's is it from geez, what's the name of the studio? Oh, I don't even remember. Who's it from, David? Yeah, Mark did the David from Vengeance Studios, and it looks really good. Okay. Dallin Cossey. Okay. I don't think I know who that is. But yeah, Mark did David from Vengeance Studios, which Vengeance has a lot of movie stuff too, by the way. They have a really huge catalog. Might be somebody to go check out. Vengeance Studios Patreon. All right, Super Shark. See you later, buddy. I'll be in touch soon with the model. All right, Risdom has a question. Yeah, see, that's who I was thinking it was. I was thinking it was from Cults 3D. Southpaw, you out of here? We'll see you later, man. Have a good night. Cool. All right, guys. Any other questions? I'm waiting for your question there. Rise Dam Design. It's so quiet in here right now. I don't have any of my printers running. I haven't printed anything in a couple of days. I've been working on this Juggernaut model here. This thing is a friggin' beast. It's like wrestling with a toddler. It's so big. Here is, I'll give you a little example. Here is you've probably seen this here's the helmet so far. It's all weathered pretty good, beat to hell and everything. But, you know, I did not get my Fantastic Four diorama done yet. I won't be getting it done anytime soon because it got broken. It fall down, go boom. So yeah, I'm gonna have to tackle that one later. I got Thing, and that's about it. I tried Reed Richards because of the long arms and stuff like that. He just broke, and I just got frustrated. So and Sue Richards, the shitty resin that I used, it turned yellow. If you want some good transparent resin that doesn't turn yellow on you and looks like glass when you do it and do it right, it's from Voxel Lab. So that's free advice right there. Mega Duck, man, we're just about over, so you just probably have to rewatch it, man. It's a lot. A lot of information. Hopefully, if you're looking for a commissioned artist and everything, hopefully this can help you out a lot. Do I do a lot of filament printing? I do not. Is Beachhead in the queue for future Joes? Yes, sir. So we got doing Major Blood now, Zartan next. We're going to be doing probably one of the Joe heroes. And then we're probably going to be doing who am I thinking of? It might be Beachhead. I have a list. Yes, there's a lot of great Brazilian artists out there. So many of them. Could I ask you a specific painting approach? Sure, absolutely. Yes, Shipwreck was it. Southpaw. I don't know if I told you that. He just like blurted it out. But yeah, it was Shipwreck who we were going to do. Spirit eventually, yeah. But I love Shipwreck. He's just a cool dude. So yeah, if you're not on my Patreon, look into it. You can join. If you join the $10 tier, you get models of the month. Anything less and stuff, you'll get on the Discord. All kinds of good stuff over there. So, will I be doing Nemesis Enforcer or Serpentor? Well, guess what? We've already done Serpentor. Nemesis Enforcer, I don't have any plans yet, but I mean, there are so many Joe characters. But yeah, I did Serpentor a couple of months back, 3 months back or whatever, complete with the air chariot. I got him printed over here. He's in 1/5 scale. He hasn't been painted yet, but it's massive. It's a good 22 inches tall, 23 inches tall. It's pretty good. It's a great model too. I love it. All right. So what was your painting question there, Lord DK? That's what it says. I don't know if it's Lord Dick or Lord DK. Awesome. Looking forward to painting the Millennium model by Nom Nom. It has like a bazillion butterflies on its wings. How would you approach this? Any shortcuts? You're going to hate me, but no. If it's got stuff like that, I've seen that model. It's all got to be hand painted, man. It's all got to be hand painted. It would look so great if you did it. Yeah. So yeah, if man, I would get you some spectacles and fine detailing brushes and stuff and just go to town on it. I'd block out the colors first and then do the line work, do the painting, the detail line work and stuff second. But if you block out the colors first, you can paint over the lining and stuff like that with the lining, and it'll look pretty good. So absolutely. All right, cool. So yes, Sarge, yeah, you will have a shipwreck. Got to do the bird too. What's the bird's Polly? Is it his name? Polly. But yeah, That's what I would do. Um, Good detailing brushes. The best ones that I have found so far that I really like are from Tamiya. I actually have links for them in the description through I got affiliate links through Amazon and everything. You can get them through there. I think they're like 7, 8 bucks a piece, but they're really, really fine. Great for doing eyes and doing different fine lines and stuff like that. So uh, I'd go on there and look at Tamiya detail brushes. A lot of people have said other companies and stuff, but those are the ones I really like. Their points hold up really good. They don't wear down very easily, and they last a while. Cool. Um, Bema, how you doing? We're doing good. We're just about wrapping up here, I think. So yeah. And also, guys, Sergeant Digital Design is in the chat. That's my boy. You got to go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel. He just hit 1,000 subscribers. So go over there, give him a whirl, show him some love. He's starting out. One more guy. He's a class act guy for the community and everything. Does some really good work over there and everything. So go check out Sergeant Digital Design. Alan, what's it? I don't know. I almost get the feeling like you're getting ready to like say something really weird. What's the difference in clear and transparent from Voxel Lab? Just searched it on Amazon. Um, I think that they're the same thing. Maybe I think the clear is the transparent's what I get. I just get the clear transparent resin. I think it's the same thing. Like they make it yellow, they make blue, green, all that other stuff. But yeah, see you later, Mark. Have a good night or good morning or whatever. Scott says seen Vallejo brushes in the hobby stores. Haven't tried any, but they'd be pretty good. I would hope. Vallejo usually makes some pretty good stuff. And I haven't tried them either. I thought about ordering some, but that's probably a safe bet that they're really good. Have you considered painting a model of something way out of your usual style, such as an anime character? Really grown a lot as an artist by taking on commissions and prints I usually never paint. I did. So I have never really tried cell shading, and I did those Ninja Turtles. A lot of people liked them. I thought I could have done a lot better. Good night, Southpaw. Have a good night. Um, and yeah, that was kind of out of my element. I struggled with it a little bit, which was challenging for me in a good way. But yeah, I would love to do some anime characters. I thought about doing some Gunpla, some Gundam models, things like that. So maybe in the future, I really would like to do a Dragon Ball model, especially since their creator just passed away. But I've been talking about doing one for quite some time. Maybe this is kind of a sign for me to really do one. Sarge is monetized. Yeah, what's up, Sarge? Congratulations, man. It's not easy. Not easy at all. Homemade spray booth or pre-built? What would you say is better when starting out with the painting? When you start out, I'd probably go with a pre-built. Um, yes, rest in peace, Toriyama. I would say a pre-made one in the beginning, so you get an understanding of how they work. Later on down the line, you may want to print bigger, so therefore you may want to make a bigger one. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think maybe find you a nice inexpensive one on Amazon or some paint store or something like that. They got some good ones on there for about $100. But if you decide that you want to make one later on down the line, you have a foundation of what you're going to need. Just an idea. That's my take on it. Let's go back up here a little bit. Alan says, I'm liking the approach to a tattoo artist. You want to make sure you get exactly what you want. That is dead on, dude. That is the best summary right there when it comes to hiring an artist, like a tattoo artist. You get that shit on your arm, dude, it's there for life, unless you decide to take it off, or get it lasered off, whatever. But yeah, you got to be specific as to what you want. Great, great synopsis right there on that one. Great comparison, I should say. All right. Man, let's see. It's about 10 after 8 my time on Central Time. There's been some people drop off because they got to go to sleep. Man, you guys are awesome how you guys get on here for these things. I see a lot of people put a lot of work into their live streams and get just a handful of views, and I'm very fortunate that you guys come on here and stream with me here. I'm looking at probably having some guests on here relatively soon on a couple of live streams. Now, here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be out of pocket for about a week. I'm having nasal surgery done, and so I will be going in for surgery, and it's going to be a long week. I'm going to be irritable. I'm going to have all this stuff right here. I have to have my septum in my nose realigned. I do not breathe out of the left side of my nostril. I only breathe out of the right side because my septum is closed up on this side. So I have a lot of sleep apnea problems. I have narcolepsy and stuff like that. So we're going to try to get this squared away so I can actually get some really good rest, because this is really hazardous to my health if I don't. So I'm going to have to take a week off in order to get this done. But yeah, but I'll be back shortly after that. Who knows? I may do it, but I may be talking like this because I'll have all the packing and stuff in my nose. It really depends on how this thing goes through, because it's I don't like anything going up my nose or anything like that. So, but yeah. So anywho, you guys, thank you so much for being here tonight. I think that's about all we really have to cover. I hope that answered some of your questions that you may or may not have, or some gives you an indication of kind of what to look for when it comes to hiring a 3D commission artist. As you know, there's always those characters or those models out there that we want made that are not made. That'll probably never be made. So we have to find the next best thing, which is a commission artist. Like, it may sound really stupid, but growing up, I've been a big Kiss fan, the rock group Kiss, and I want Kiss models. I want some Kiss figures or whatever. I'm not worried about Gene. Gene's cool. Me and Gene are cool. Yeah, I've wanted those like all my life. I know Sideshow did some, but man, they're hideous looking and they're super expensive. They're like $1,000 a piece now. So, but yeah, hopefully that helped everybody. All right, guys. If there's no other questions, I think we're about to wrap this thing up here and let you guys get back to your night. And I appreciate it. I am working on finishing up the Juggernaut model. I've got just about everything done on the guy except for some of the details. And then I'll have to edit it and all that good stuff. Hopefully I will have it done by Sunday. This coming Sunday, we'll have a new video drop, and looking forward to you guys taking a gander at it. So don't forget, on your way out, hit that like button if you don't mind. If you have not subscribed to the channel, I would appreciate that too. We also have that super thanks button there if you don't mind donating. We also have my Patreon as well. And if you're looking for anything to use for your models, consider looking in my description. I have a storefront over at Amazon. I get a little small commission off of that at no extra cost to you. So, yeah, take a look at that. Some order links over there, some of the things I use in my videos. Good night, Chuck. And yeah, there we go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here with me tonight. I greatly appreciate it. As always, I think we're over, 26,000 subscribers on the channel. Everything's doing great, guys. I owe everything to you. You guys are fabulous, fabulous guests. and subscribers and everything. And hope to keep doing these live streams and videos and stuff for a very long time. So, but definitely, get out and have fun. If there's anything I could do for anybody, any questions I can answer, whatever like that, you know where to reach me. All right. All right. Until then, guys, everybody stay safe out there. Get out and create something. Print, prep, paint, repeat. And until the next live stream or until the next video, everybody, we'll see you. Have a good night, everybody.